We'll get started real shortly here. Getting this live up and going. We get started here real quick in just a moment here. A couple more people, let them show up. Perfect. Exciting. So many people are coming on here tonight. This is awesome. Bringing that heat. We got Coach Lukas coming at you live tonight. We're going to get started momentarily here. This is amazing. There he is. Oh, I want to be out there in nature. That green background there, let me tell you. Oh, there's Peter. Hey, Peter. Perfect. See, Jackie's already bringing the fire tonight. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's bring the heat tonight. Okay. Oh, there's Deborah. Awesome. Perfect. So let's dive in here. I'm probably going to keep letting more people in the whole time. So tonight's coaching session is on mindset. Now, we generally hear that nutrition and fitness is 80% of the battle. And I'm sure a lot of you heard this as well. And we talked about that on Monday's call, how fitness and nutrition are 80% of the battle, right? Oh, that's awesome, Jess. Nice multitasking. Watching while your kids play soccer. I love it. Bringing that heat. Oh, and there's Margaret. Awesome. She got in here. So it's 80% of the battle is what we've been discussing this week. But fitness and nutrition is only 20% of the journey. The other 80 is our mindset, those routines, habits, lifestyle, motivation, accountability. It's really all so much deeper than all this, honestly. But it's all the good stuff that we unfortunately can't just like pick up a book and read about how to apply it. We need that hands-on experience to be taught about the mind. There's Stephanie. Perfect. I'm gonna try and keep an eye on the live comments in here today, but I do have dual monitors. I apologize here. But as we can't just learn this through a book, and it needs to be that hands-on aspect we're talking about. You're gonna be taking small steps to mindfully lose the fat. We must master the mind in order to conquer our body. We spend 168 hours per week inside our own head, talking negatively when we should be being positive and loving ourselves. Think about what we say to ourselves. We'd never talk that way to others. We're just too cruel to ourselves, to be honest. But we can work out in under 2 hours per week versus being inside our own mind 168 hours, right? So there's a big difference. But most of us yo-yo diet year after year, striving to hit our nutrition and fitness. But we fall off or we see little to no results. Great goal there, Jess. Positive self-talk goal. Amazing. So as we're going through this, we're seeing those little results. When everything that the internet said to do is what we've been doing, so that must be correct, right? The mindset portion is why so many of us fail. We're leaving 80% of the results on the table by not tackling the mind first. Not even knowing that was a portion even for most of us. So we are so fortunate that tonight we get Coach Lukas to have him take time out of his day for this call. Coach Lukas works 3 jobs and is super busy. So let's take a moment to thank Coach Lukas in the comments for his time today. Well, thank you so much, Lukas, number one, for all you do for all of us here at Lionheart Strength. and watching over all of us and our clients and making sure we're getting the best results inside the program. And number two, thank you for being here tonight for all of us. Mindset is a topic we could probably talk about 52 weeks of the year. Am I right? So now, Lucas, you ready to dive on into some questions tonight, and we'll end with some Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got it. Okay. Try and keep an eye on the comments over here. If I miss some, I'll check them out during the Q&A. So Lucas, let's start with a quick one here, but not an easy one. Why is fitness and nutrition only 20%, but mindset is 80% of this battle?
Yeah, you're right. That is a quick question to answer, but it's not an easy question to understand. So a good way to I look at it is you're always going to be in your own head. You're always going to be thinking about what you're doing, talking to yourself. We all have that internal voice. Sometimes it's good and we're positive. Sometimes it's not so good and we're kind of negative about ourselves. And that tends to be where we are most of the time, is we're thinking about ourselves in a negative way. But the goal of this training here is to kind of turn that around and start thinking of ourselves in a positive way. So yeah, you're always in your head. Even when you're eating and you're working out, those things are external, but you're always going to be in your head. You're always thinking about what you're doing. Maybe you're working out, you're thinking about, man, I should slow down. Man, that set wasn't the best, or maybe I should, use a lighter weight just because it's hard. Or maybe you're eating and you didn't make a good choice. You're putting yourself down, but we tend to not bring ourselves up when we make good choices. So we got to start doing that kind of stuff. But having a good mindset towards your health and fitness can be a huge game changer, and it's going to lead you to making better choices kind of subconsciously. You're just going to automatically start making better choices when you have a better mindset, but you got to develop a better mindset first. You're not just going to automatically start making those better choices. Yeah, so that's kind of the easy answer, is you're always in your head, but you're not always doing that external stuff.
Right. And it's not really something that you can just, we can't just learn how to tackle mind by picking up a book. Why is that?
Well, you can learn a lot from watching videos or picking up a book and reading those books, but applying the practices that are inside that information can be tough to do alone, because you don't have that external stuff to bring you feedback. So a good way to tackle this and use all that information you're gaining is to have someone to talk to, someone to talk to about what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Let's say you did something great today. Hey man, I did a great job today at this. You know what, but I didn't feel so good about this. How do you feel about it? There's stuff like that. That's going to help you a lot. Express how you're feeling. Get outside of your comfort zone with that kind of stuff too. It can help a lot with your own mindset, right? But yeah, getting your thoughts outside of your head, and that can also make you think about your thoughts a little more deeply too. So if, let's say, I'm putting myself down inside my head, man, I didn't have a very good workout today. I showed up 15 minutes late, and I only got 45 minutes in, but I had to rush out to go to work. But you know what? If you said that out loud to somebody, hey, great, you actually got up before I did today. You went to the gym already and then came to work. I got out of bed, rolled out of bed 15 minutes before I had to be here, grabbed the Tim Hortons coffee on the way, and I'm here still half asleep. So we got to remember,
big difference.
It's a huge difference, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's about those little steps. I love that. That's exactly what we talk about with those baby steps. We have to go small at first. And I mean, this is great. Mm-hmm. Having someone else talk about it externally, not just internally, is so important. So what are the things that I can actually do that I can apply it?
First would be to have an accountability partner. So like a friend or someone you trust, or a referee, somebody that's going to that's real. A referee would be somebody that's really close to you, maybe somebody you live with, that can kind of throw in the towel, and they can, notice when you're making a choice that's not the best for you when it comes to your health and fitness, and just kind of remind you what your goal is. Hey, I noticed you just went for that piece of pizza there. What are your goals this week? You know, they don't have to necessarily put you down, but like just remind you, hey, what's going on this week? Did you go to the gym earlier this week? Hey, what did you talk about with your coach this week? Just stuff like that can help a lot. Yeah, and you really don't want somebody as an accountability partner that's gonna, you know, ask you to go out for drinks when you should be when that's your time to go to the gym, or you know, I had a really good dinner planned and they're bringing home donuts after work. So that's something you really don't want to happen in your house, or with your accountability partner. And it also helps to have somebody that's on the same page as you with their health and fitness. So maybe a good example would be like all you guys in the group and in the challenge. I see some of you commenting back and forth together. That's great. Maybe send each other a DM, be like, hey, I need an accountability partner. You want to be my accountability? And you just text each other, hey, I'm going for my walk today. Or, hey, I skipped my walk. Can I talk to you about it? That kind of stuff is really going to help you out with hitting your goals. So that's great.
And it's like these small, tiny little things, right? Just asking those questions. It doesn't sound like something huge, but in the long run, it's a huge impact. Small habit, huge impact. I love that. And getting more people involved. And what you said about the donuts makes me laugh in a not so funny way. I do know someone that I was trying to help them out. Like, who would be the best referee for them? And they're like, oh, well, my husband, of course. Like, well, sure, your husband would be the best first choice, but think about it. She was then telling me that, I've been doing really good this week, but then my husband brought home donuts. And then my husband did this. So then I also did this. So it really leads down that road, I've noticed. So your spouse is an amazing accountability partner, but it depends on if they're supporting you with your goals or not. And I'm not saying that we never eat pizza. I still eat pizza too. But if it's an every day that we're eating these comfort foods every single day, it's going to be a long time before we hit that progress, right? Like it's different progress than if you eat really whole foods within the same macros, right?
Yeah, and if you are going to choose your spouse as an accountability partner, it's really important that you have an upfront conversation with them and let them know what your goals are and what you're trying to do with your food and your workouts and timing these things so that you guys can plan your days around all that stuff. And then maybe just get a schedule down so that, if I'm going to be working out in the morning for 15, 20 minutes, maybe your husband or wife can just grab the kids for 10 minutes and take them away for a minute, because that could help huge. And then you can return the favor later in the day. Maybe they want to play some video games or something later. Great. You grab the kids. Come on, we're going to go do a craft or make some dinner or go for a walk, something like that. Right. So that kind of stuff is really helpful in the house when everybody can be a kind of a team player, even if your spouse doesn't have the same goals as you, health and fitness wise, but you guys can help each other out that way.
Yeah, like with what you said, the one helping out with actually being able to exercise, the one helping out with some video games, so some playtime too, not the same goal, but amazing, coming together. Not only is that really good help with accountability, you're also building that bond relationship with your spouse too. I really like that. And Deborah made a really good point in the comments I just wanted to mention. My husband and I are each other's worst enemy when it comes to food. We often want to treat each other and we do not need the treats. Yes, I can admit that happens with me too. We can totally do that. But you really got to, I find that happens more often than not when our goals aren't completely, I don't want to say aligned, but they're not like completely voiced. Like, this is my goal. When I'm kind of like iffy about what exactly my goal is right now, I tend to allow a little more of the treats and treating hubby and everything versus, if I have like, this is my goal, to be like, no, sorry, I can't eat that kind of thing. So that's really good. And it makes perfect sense what you're saying, getting that outside help too, with someone that isn't biased with is probably best. Like, you're right. How do you utilize or like, I don't know, like take advantage of having that accountability partner?
Yeah. So like, let's say you're having a bad day, maybe you give them a call. Hey man, I had a bad day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I burnt the coffee. and then I dropped my coffee cup on the way to the car, and blah. You know, talk about that kind of
Spirals.
stuff, because that's sort of because then they're gonna help you realize maybe you're not having such a bad day. What else did you say? Oh, my kids, they were great this morning. They helped me clean up after breakfast. You know, that kind of stuff. They're gonna remind you that not everything's bad. You're gonna have some positives in your life too, right? So you gotta make sure you get that stuff out of your head, because if you don't, you're gonna continue to make those bring those negative thoughts in, and you're gonna start feeling bad about yourself. And we gotta really up the positive talk, and it doesn't have to come just from inside you, it come from outside too. Once you voice those things, it really makes you, or you can even write them down. Even if you don't have an accountability partner right now, you can just write these things down. Once you get them out and on paper
Don't
or
forget, we can all help with
spoken,
accountability partner.
yeah, totally, yeah. And once you get those things out and they're spoken, you may realize like, oh man, that was silly. I didn't have to be upset about that. You know what I mean?
And it's a big
Like
difference
there's a
being able to
lot of things,
realize that.
yeah, there's a lot of things that we fuss about and we stress about that we don't need to be. They're not a big deal. We just make them a big deal because we play it over and over in our heads, and it's not. You got to get that stuff out. You got to talk about it.
That's what I've been
But
going through.
you guys can use the Facebook group's a really great spot for this. Post about, man, you know, I didn't have a good day today. I missed my workout today. I missed it and I had to go to work. Maybe somebody in the group, hey, you know what? There's always after work. You know, we only are doing 20-minute workouts here. Lots of time. Celebrate your wins too. Like little wins are great. You know, huge. Got up until this morning. I made the bed, opened the curtains. The sun was shining. And it felt great. That's a huge win. That'll start your day off great. So post about that kind of stuff too. Tell your accountability partner, hey man, I had a great day at work today. I had lunch with my buddies and all that stuff. So drive home was great. There was no traffic. Saw some birds on a branch or whatever. I don't know. Maybe you seen a deer on the highway. Doesn't matter.
No, but these are real. These small wins, we have to celebrate them, and not just like, oh yay, this is a good win, but actually celebrate. Go out and do something for these wins, or post about it. Because not only should we post about our struggles, and because people are going to be having similar stories, right? But post about those wins. Every one of us wants to celebrate you. I want to celebrate all these wins, right? And you need that help and accountability. And that's going to help everyone if you post not only the struggles, but the wins too, because there's way more wins than struggles, let me tell you. But we have to get around this whole mindset thing that we're talking about here so we can really see how many more positives there are. Like Lukas mentioned, the drive home, you had a good drive, that's a win. You didn't get an accident, that's a win. You saw some birds on a branch and you viewed it and it made your day, or you saw that deer and that was the highlight of your day. These are all wins and we have to celebrate these.
Yeah. So, and then express those things too. And that's called, you know, you can express gratitude. That's what that's called. So maybe you're having a bad day and you had, I don't know, a really great cup of coffee this morning. You can think about that. Man, that cup of coffee was great. Wasn't it great? I made that cup of coffee. Or
I did.
let's say you're having a bad day at work, and you know, maybe your kids were screaming before you left and you had a crappy lunch because you dropped it or whatever. But you know what? Your husband made you dip breakfast this morning and you had a good drive to work at least. And the project you've been working on is done and it was great and the clients loved it. And maybe you're looking forward to going home and making a great dinner. Like you can be grateful for all those things, and expressing that gratitude is going to make a huge difference in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Just expressing those positive things that you have in your life are going to really start to counteract all the negativity that you're feeling. And then eventually, if you practice this, it's going to seem very diligent at first and very kind of like you're doing it on purpose and you're kind of having to force it. That's okay, because eventually, over time, the more you do it, it's just going to become a habit. And you're going to start to do it subconsciously, and you're just going to feel better. You're going to feel happier all the time.
Yes. It's like our daily affirmations we've been putting out. I've been throwing at you 3 daily affirmations every day, a morning, an afternoon, and an evening. Now, these may not be your most favorite ones, but these are all things that we should be doing to help with our mindset, or these daily affirmations. You don't have to choose the ones I'm posting for you at all. You can come up with your own. But things like like those sticky notes on the mirror and stuff like that, or just saying these out loud, even just daily, going in and reading all 3 and just voicing it out loud is going to make a huge impact on the way that you feel about yourself, because we have so much more self-worth than we feel we do, and we are truly worth it. Okay. And speaking of gratitude there, Lucas, uh, what is exactly gratitude, and how do I apply it to mindset?
Gratitude is just being grateful for things. So, like I said earlier, you could be grateful for your kids. You can be grateful for a great cup of coffee. You can be grateful for your car not breaking down. You've been grateful that you have a roof over your head and gas in your tank and a job and a great
The things we
coach that
take for
helps you.
granted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All the things we take for granted that we kind of forget about in our lives. We got to start thinking about those things. Even as little as like, man, I'm writing these notes right here, and this pen is awesome. I really like the way this pen writes. That kind of stuff is going to change your life. You start thinking about these things all the time, you're going to be so happy all the time. It's going to change the way you see the world.
That does actually work, but I've never thought about that before. So when you talk about the pen, it triggered something. Back at my old admin job, I didn't use a lot of pen and paper, but I like lists. I like to be organized. So I had these specific pens that I would buy myself instead of the ones that the office would supply, because I loved these pens. I loved the way it wrote. I loved the way it looked. I thought, I personally can barely read my own writing. So these pens I actually found were easier to read. And anytime I would call a new pen day, I was thrilled. I had a great day over a pen, people. These are all little things to be grateful for. I love what you're talking about, Lucas. I love this.
Yeah, totally. So, some other ways you can express your gratitude, because a lot of people find this to be the hardest part, is actually expressing it. At first, if you're uncomfortable, you could just write it down in a journal, like get a piece of paper, write it down. Maybe you do it once or twice a day, or maybe just every day at the end of your day. You're grateful for 3 things. You write those 3 things down. Once you get a little more comfortable with it, or if you're already kind of an outgoing person, you can choose someone to express it to, or just everyone. It doesn't really matter who. But just take it only takes a minute. Like, just say, hey, you know what? Crystal, I had a really great day today because I stopped by the grocery store and they had my favorite artisan cheeses today, and I never get to get that. So I got that today, and it's going to be really good, and I'm looking forward to having it. So that's something you can be grateful for. Anything like that. Man, I cut the grass today, and it looks so good, and I did a really great job, and you should go see it. Let's go look at it together and really enjoy the yard today because it looks great. So that's kind of things you can do. Actually, Tanya, who's going to be coming here in week 3 and doing kind of this Q&A like I'm doing, when she first started with us, she started to learn about gratitude a little bit, and she at first she was really talking negatively about herself, and then she started, like I just said, she started to write down some affirmations and some things she's grateful for, and then she started to do it with her husband at night. They would share each one thing that they were grateful for. And then she started to ask her kids what they were grateful for. And that changed, I think, changed her
Everything.
life forever. Everything.
Yeah.
Because now when she sits down at the dinner table with her family, the first thing that they do, and her kids instigate it, they ask, what's everyone grateful for? And they are all much happier together now, which is great. It's great to see. Great, Tanya lost a ton of weight and she's fitter than she's ever been, and she's eating more food than she ever has. That stuff's all great. But
But
she really made a life-changing transformation with her whole life, not just her physical life inside her own body, which is that's something you can't really put a price on stuff like that. Like that's those are life lessons that you can't learn on your own. Someone needs to help you with those things, and that can be your family, it can be a journal.
Yes.
But yeah, and then affirmations are great too, like you said.
Mhm.
Things like you brushing your teeth in the morning, you finish brushing your teeth, you look in yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm gonna have a great day today. I'm gonna crush it today. Those little things, like just putting those things inside your head that you're gonna do great. You look great. Man, these jeans fit great and I look great in them. That kind of stuff
There you go.
is gonna change
Yes.
the way you're thinking about yourself too.
And it sets your whole day up to be a better day when you start your day off with that.
Totally.
That's awesome. Well, everyone watching, I've been putting up these affirmations 3 a day. It's only been a couple of days, I know, but has anyone been using these affirmations, or do you have your own? I want to see in the comments here. Who's using these affirmations? I want to know, how many are you doing? Are you using them? How are you going to use them now after tonight's training? Let me know in the comments here. I've read them. Awesome. Now, who's voiced them out loud? Has anyone voiced them out loud yet? I try every day. Love it, Stephanie. I try every day. Yes. I want to write them down. Some are visible. Sometimes I forget. Yes. I suppose I should say them too. I say them out loud, but in my head, but not out loud. So that is one thing that really helps, is actually voicing it or writing things down. Does make a huge difference, but that's okay. That's your next progression for you. You're saying them in your head. Once you feel comfortable, you can say them out loud now. There you go. I love it. You're putting it to good use. That's amazing. But thanks, Lucas, because I mean, affirmations are a great one. And I mean, we've been posting those every day, every day this week to get those hammered in. But there's so much to be positive about. But yet again, we kind of get inside our own head, right? Like, how would you recommend actually using these daily affirmations? Like either the ones that we made or the ones that we can make up ourselves, the 3 we provided kind of thing. But how do you recommend this best? I know you mentioned out loud, but there's a really good way to really apply this.
Yeah, so one of the best ways is right first thing in the morning. Wake up in the morning, make your bed. That's step number 1. Look at yourself in the mirror when you go into the washroom, wash your face, and tell yourself it's going to be a good day. Do it out loud if you want. Tell yourself it's going to be a good day. All right. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to have a shower, whatever, get ready. You're going to put on your favorite outfit. And when you do, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and say, this looks good. I look good in these clothes, and I'm going to have a great day as well. And then at night, when you're cooking dinner and you taste it right before you serve it and it tastes good, man, I did a great job cooking that dinner. It tastes so good. And then here's where you can use a little gratitude too. Man, I am so grateful that I can walk into the grocery store, grab all the ingredients I need. I can come home, I can turn on my stove, there's gas there, it gets hot, I can cook the food I want, and it's going to make my family happy. That's something to be grateful for sure. You can be grateful for the farmers that grew those vegetables. That's great.
Yes, thank
Do
you,
that.
farmers.
You completed your workout for the day. That's great. I lifted more today than I did in the last workout. That's awesome. I did a great job. I did that. I am stronger today than I was yesterday. That's something to be grateful for, and that's affirmations. That's a great affirmation. I am fundamentally a different person than I was yesterday. That's a powerful one.
I'm really feeling this heat there, Lucas. I can see your blood's getting boiled. You're really passionate right here. I like it a lot. No, that's amazing. I mean, I mean, I understand all this about mindset, but even just hearing you talking about how like all these small things to be grateful for, like they're actually what you wanted was there, that you're able to actually get into the grocery store, that you can walk in there. All these things are things that we don't even think about, right? Because we just take it for granted. And I really like thank you for bringing this part up because honestly, those aren't even the things that I think about in my day when I think about gratitude lists. So I mean, I just like forgot, right? When you don't make it a habit. So I got to remember to think about those small things too, because you're right. There are a lot more positive in the day.
Yeah,
So,
that's great. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, it's fine.
I was just going to ask about, not only you're talking about like strength, like you're stronger today than you were on your last workout. Oh, there's Margaret back. And, celebrating these too, not just talking about how grateful you are or those affirmations, but celebrating these wins too, right? Not just the big
Mhm.
wins, but the small ones too, right? Because we have to appreciate them.
Yeah, so we already kind of talked about like like celebrating your wins, like by
Yeah.
voicing them or writing them in a journal, posting in the Facebook group. That stuff's great, and then we should do that all the time as much as we can because if we got to be more positive and getting those positive things out there are just going to continue to to make us more positive in our daily lives. But we should reward ourselves too. So one thing that Crystal and I like to do is if we hit a milestone in our fitness, or we wanted to, let's say we wanted to squat a certain weight or whatever it might be, or walk so many hours during the week or get so many steps in 1 week, something like that. It's like go to the go to the mall and get some new workout clothes, like a new t-shirt or a new pair of shorts, or go to Lululemon and get some new shorts and whatever, new pair of sneakers, stuff that pertains to that goal, that's going to help you succeed further inside that goal. If it's cooking, let's say you made a meal that you never made before and it was great, and you had a goal to make, I don't know, 10 new dishes this month, and you did that goal. Maybe you go out and buy a new frying pan that you've been wanting. Make it a celebration of what you've been working on.
I like it.
That's going to help you to further that goal. But make it something you want. Something, you pick a goal, pick something you want after you achieve that goal, something you want to buy, to reward yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be huge. It can be just like something small, or maybe it's just even like, I'm going to go to the movies. I haven't done that in a long time. Reward yourself, but make it like, if you make it so that you can further that goal and create a new goal within that, kind of like if it's working out within working out, if it's cooking within cooking, kind of something like that. Because then you're going to strive to keep going with those new tools
And
or
you're going to
whatever you
remember
bought.
what you did from your new item too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
I love that.
that's
And I
right.
love when you mentioned like the new PRs in the gym too. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge one. I mean, so many people assume that like you should go up 5-10 pounds every week. You don't go up 5-10 pounds every week. And you have to be at a certain point to start doing that. And so many people, we're all at different spots in our journey. So we have to remember to celebrate these milestones as well. And don't forget, anyone that's new here from our Facebook group as well, every Friday we talk about our wins. So post your win on Fridays because we want to celebrate you every single week. Okay. So we even give you a place to come and tell us every Friday. We're going to ask you about your wins because we got to celebrate you. There's so many good things in your life, and we want to share that with you. And not only do I want to know that I have good things in my life, positive things, I want to know that all of you are out there making a positive difference in your life or someone else's, because you are totally just worth it and you are just crushing it right now. We're only on day 3 here, and look at all of you. The fire is on tonight, and thank you. Lukas, this is amazing. But we also remember, like I said, those small and large goals, right? Because we can't forget how much we have to be thankful for and how hard we've worked. So how do you start building these habits and routines?
I actually mentioned it earlier. Make your bed. Make your bed. It's really like you're gonna laugh now, but it's so important that making your bed is the first thing you do in the morning. Crystal,
Yeah,
what happened when
I
you
knew it.
started making your bed first thing in the morning? I know you didn't do it your whole life, and then you started making your bed every single morning. The first thing you did was make your bed. What happened when you started doing that?
I knew I was gonna get called out earlier when you mentioned making your bed. I was laughing second time. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he's right. So for 27 years, I never made my bed. I honestly don't even know if I could say I made it once. I really didn't see the point. Okay. And I mean, I was just gonna mess it up the next night anyways. And then I started working on getting rid of my anxiety last year. And one step I used was making my bed and making sure that all the rooms around me were tidy. And basically it kind of just like provided like a more tranquil environment, having everything around me clean, no clutter. It was a lot less stress and anxiety just because I did these things. So making my bed was one of the big steps I got there. And I got into the habit of doing this daily because I could see the benefits seriously right away. That sense of accomplishment in the morning. I know it sounds like such a small little thing, but for real, that sense of accomplishment from already completing a task first thing in the morning, that's huge. That was bigger than I realized. And thanks for calling me out on that there, Lucas.
Yeah, it's huge. The first thing you did in your day was an accomplishment. No matter
Mhm.
how easy it was, but you got up out of bed, you made the bed. That's one thing off the list that you have to do today. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it looks good. It's important to do a good job when you're making the bed too. Like do a good job doing it because then you can look back and say, man, I did a good job on that. So once you start making your bed, it doesn't, making your bed's kind of a metaphor too, right? It could be anything small, kind of meaty. Like it doesn't really matter what it may, but making your bed's easy. Everyone has a bed. Everyone sleeps in their bed at night and you got to get out of it at some point. It's going to be messed up. So make it. Make your bed first thing in the morning. It's going to give you that sense of accomplishment straight away. And then once you keep doing that and you get into the habit of doing that, another thing you can add to that is making your bed and then wherever you go first, if it's to the coffee machine, to the washroom to wash your face, wherever that is, keep a pen and keep a sticky note there and then write down an affirmation. Write it down and stick it to the wall or stick it to the mirror.
Or right on the mirror if you
Um,
want.
make your bed right over top of him. He'll appreciate it. Yeah, so or you can even dry erase markers you can write on the mirror. That's great too. You can do that. Little affirmations. Yeah, so get in little habits like that. So making your bed, writing some affirmations or saying them out loud. You can even get in a routine for your gratitude and being grateful for things like when you want to voice it. Whether it's at the dinner table or if you're I don't know, first thing you do is maybe talk to your spouse or maybe your kids and say, what are you grateful for today? Or start your day off with it. Whatever. Just getting in the habit of doing these things is really kind of the hard part of it all. And just you got, if it's a habit and you develop that habit,
Yeah.
that's when it starts to really work.
Yes. And you mentioned some really big affirmations, and the ones I've been posting are like the longer ones, but there's also the really simple ones that we should be saying like daily. You know, the stuff like I'm happy, I'm beautiful, I'm a good dad, I am loved, I'm a great mom, and I am strong. These make huge impact, okay? Because I can't even tell you the countless amount of clients that I talk to that constantly I'm hearing, I don't know if I'm the best mom because of this. I don't know if I'm doing the best job I can with my twin daughters right now. And he's a great dad. And he's thinking about this, which also makes him an even better dad. But adding in these kind of affirmations and maybe even starting those gratitude lists with the kids like Tanya, that just honestly proves how great of a parent you are. So these are really good things for us to really implement, these small things.
Totally.
And
And the reason I say that you should put them on a sticky note and stick them up,
yeah,
kind of in the first place that you go in the morning, is that you're going to walk into those things and you're going to look at them and you're going to start to read them. And
yeah,
it's going to be in your head that you are those things. If you wrote it down and you put it there, the next day when you look at that again, you are going to feel like you are what you wrote the day before. If you wrote, I
yep.
am strong, and you see that tomorrow morning, I wrote that yesterday, I am strong. I am strong. For sure.
Yeah, and like that can really set your morning up completely different, right? Doing something that's a task like 30 seconds could set you up for so much more of a positive day, right? We're talking about that positive attitude and that mindset. So you can set yourself up so much better. Could you give us like a couple tips to build this kind of habit and routine around like I know that right now, like this week, we're working on our water and maybe even our steps. Could you give a couple tips for those?
Yeah, sure. So some really quick ones are, let's say for your water, there's tons of apps in the app stores that remind you to drink water, and you can set it up for intervals and how much you can set a goal for the day, and you can go in and say, I want to drink water remind me every 30 minutes to drink water. And you'll get a little notification on your phone and they'll say, go drink your water. So that's a really easy one. Another one you can do is when you're at work and you're sitting at a desk, maybe. One thing you can do is work for 50 minutes, work hard for 50 minutes. And then for 10 minutes, maybe you get up, stretch out a little bit, have a walk around the office. Maybe it's a lot of companies don't like that though, because you might start to talk to people. So just go outside, maybe have a walk around the
Or
building,
go
come back to
pee
your
because
desk,
we're getting in all that water?
or go to the bathroom, get more water. And then that also actually helps you be more productive. If you're staring at a screen for 3 hours, you're likely not being very productive or very creative. Getting up for that 10 minutes can actually boost your creativity and your interest in what you're working on, and can also help you get out of any ruts you're in with the project you might be working on too. But it doesn't have to be 50 and 10. Like you can do 25 minutes working, 5 minutes up and walking. Couple other things for getting your steps in. If you're going to the mall, you park at the back of the parking lot. Don't forget where you parked.
Yeah.
Take the stairs
Done
in
that
the
a few times.
apartment building. If you got a really big clear bottle, you can draw lines on it with times of the day, and then you can drink down to those times. That's a really helpful one. Similar to the app, it kind of keeps you accountable.
Yeah.
Your accountability buddy could be your water bottle. That's great.
Your accountability
Um,
bottle.
yeah, exactly. Um, a really good one for your water is to put your water bottle right next to the coffee machine. Most of it, if you do drink coffee, put it next to the coffee machine when you get up in the morning. It's right there. Fill it up. Have some water before you have your coffee. It's really important. Just kind of a side health tip: drink water right first thing in the morning. You'll find that when you start doing this, it actually gives you a bigger energy boost than any cup of coffee will. But you can still have your coffee after. But if you
Oh
drink
yeah.
water first thing in the morning, it's going to make a huge difference in your start of your day. I promise you that. And if it doesn't, well, you're drinking too much coffee.
And can I just
Um,
say that Coach Lukas struggles the most with water out of anything. So if he's telling you to start your day with that cup of water to get more energy than the coffee that he is obsessed with, take that to heart. He is not a water drinker. I swear, bleeds coffee. So trust him that this will give you some more energy in the morning. And
mhm.
it took a long time to convince him to actually start this habit. But wow, I can see the difference in energy first thing in the morning. Sorry for interrupting you there, Luke, but I had to.
Yeah, I missed who made that comment there, but yeah, totally. It makes a huge difference if you drink water first thing in the morning. You do feel hydrated, right? You feel, and later in the day, you just keep that energy going throughout the day. That's great. You gotta
Yes,
remember,
good one,
like when you
Deborah.
first wake up in the morning, you haven't eaten or drank in 7, 8, 9 hours. You haven't done
Right.
any of those things. And then usually first thing you do is go to the washroom. So there goes all your water that you already had in you. Get some water into you first thing in the morning. It really revitalizes you, wakes you right up. It's really good for your skin too. So don't forget about that.
Yes. Anyone with some skin problems and some acne, it's a great tip. Thank you. Yes. And another tip could be also, like setting your alarm clock on the other side of the room. So you have to get out of bed in the morning. And it helps with a good mindset as well, right?
Totally. And if you're one of those people that hits snooze 100 times, well, you're gonna get lots of your steps in.
That's true. Oh, I never even thought about that, but there you go. Just like we're drinking all this water, we got to take more pee breaks, which means we're getting more steps in. It's that circle we're going through, right? That's a good circle. But these are
Totally.
gold, Lucas. Thank you. If you're good to go, I want to open up here, see if anyone else has any questions, either on mindset or about you. So floor is open. I'm going to see if I know how to I clicked unmute. If you want to voice it or type it in there, go ahead. I know some of you might be a little bit shy, so feel free to type it in the chat there, and I'll read it. If you're too shy, go for it. But if not, I mean, while we're waiting, we could take a minute here to talk about, like, I don't know, Lucas, where do you find that you struggle with your mindset the most?
Definitely with negative self-talk. That's my biggest problem with my mindset. I tend to go straight to the negative thought before anything else. And part of that is actually because of my job kind of makes me do that. As an engineer, you always have to be questioning what you're doing. You always have to be questioning, is what I'm doing the right thing to do? And even if it is, someone else is going to look at your work and always have a different opinion. It doesn't matter if what you did was perfect. So I tend to navigate to the negative thought first, and start questioning things. It's not necessarily directly toward myself, but I question a lot of the things I do. Did I do that correctly? Did what I say hurt someone's feelings? Did what I do help? Did what I do drive me in the right direction toward my end goal? So I'm always questioning things. So in negative self-talk is definitely something I struggle with for sure.
Wow. No, actually, honestly, I feel like that one was the most gold you brought us today. That's really, really helpful, especially talking about, like, with that work, how you're not just like looking into like what the work you've done, but like your colleagues' work in there and everything too, about like where did we go wrong? But you're not just thinking about yourself negatively, right? Automatically, it's like, okay, there's something wrong. So you're thinking about that in general. So it's not even solely on you. You're slowly even branching out to others. So that's definitely a mindset goal for you, right? To work through this and the way you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
And we got a comment over here. Let me see here. Meeting my step goal is not a problem for me, but lifting weights, ugh, I have such a mental block. Yesterday's workout should not have been challenging for me, but I just couldn't stick with it for 20 minutes and I had to keep coming back to it. Do you have any tips there?
Yeah, I do. If it is too hard, like if you really feel like your workout's too hard, you can always scale it back. If you feel like 20 minutes is too long right now and you just can't complete it and enjoy it in that time, you can always scale it back. You can scale it back to 15 minutes until you're really comfortable with that. Or 15 minutes just becomes easy. Then you can add some more time to it. Or it's the same with how much weight you're using. If it starts to become easy and boring, you can always add more weight, more time, less time between your sets. If it's, you got to keep it interesting, right? So if it's too hard, you're not going to be interested. If it's too easy, you're not going to be interested. If you have distractions, try to get rid of them. I know a lot of you guys have kids, and that can be kind of a distraction. But a good way to deal with that too is incorporate your kids in some exercise too. It doesn't necessarily have to be like lifting weights in the exercises we've given you, but like go outside, climb a tree, play in the grass, play tag, all that kind of stuff. It's really great.
Maybe use them as your weight.
Yeah, that's great. You can do that too. But the most important thing is like you really want to try and keep it interesting. If it's boring or not fun, don't do it. Do something that is fun and interesting. If you're struggling to make your current workouts that we've provided interesting and fun, you can always just let us know, and we can always kind of throw some other tips at you too, kind of separately. Or if there's an exercise that you really like doing and it's not in the programming, we can help you out with that too. Because the main thing is it's got to be fun for you. It's got to be fun for you. If it's not going to be fun for you, you're not going to stick to it. You're going to look for excuses not to do it. Like it's just not going to be a lifelong thing that you can keep in your life and forever keep kind of progressing at. You know, it's really important that you like to do it and that you want to keep doing it. So got to make it interesting. You got to enjoy it. And
that's the type of fitness you can stick to.
Don't force yourself to enjoy it. Find a way to make it enjoyable.
Right. So I got one more here. And then I have a small little question for you. Since you threw one at me, I'm going to throw one at you too. So negative self-talk is my biggest struggle, followed by meals with an autistic child makes family meals extra challenging. But they did mention that their kids love swinging from the TRX. Do you have any suggestions there? I know that having that autistic child there, of course, things are going to be a little bit more challenging, but you also have such a bundle of love there. And like, think about all these things that you're grateful for too, right? Is there anything that you can think of there, Lucas, about the negative self-talk with these meals, for example, maybe? Any thoughts that you can think of there?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Especially with any kids, really. Mealtime can be tough. Really the biggest thing is like get good habits and routines around meal times. Especially with kids, it's good to have meals at the same time every day. And even for you, it can be really beneficial to have meals at the same time every day. Just because it makes it easier for planning things. But when it comes to this negative self-talk, man, the gratitude and the affirmations, if you start to practice those things, it does feel forced at the beginning. It feels really forced and awkward, but it does make a huge difference. And you'll find like after even just a week, maybe, you'll start to feel a little bit better and you'll start to notice things around you that you're grateful for automatically. If you go outside and you see some flowers and they weren't there yesterday, you're going to notice them and you're going to stop and you think, hey, those are nice flowers and they weren't there yesterday. I really like them. So there's things like that will seem forced at the beginning, but will become a habit, and really just doing them and making a habit of doing them will start to mitigate all the negative self-talk with positive talk. And that's one for me is if I start to slack on my expressing my gratitude or self-affirmations, if I start to slack on those things, like say I get too busy or I'm just really having a tough time with a project at work and it's kind of consuming my thoughts, I will start to slip and start to have more negative self-talk. So getting in the habit, even when I try to get back into those habits, it still does feel forced at the beginning, but it does become much easier, and you start to automatically have positive thoughts over negative thoughts. And even when you do have negative thoughts, they're usually followed up by a positive thought after about a week of really trying and kind of forcing it. I call it forcing it, but you're not really forcing it. But
Right.
that's what
No,
that's probably
that
that.
helps.
Yeah.
No, and it's the same thing with like when we first get back into like working out too, right? Like we may be like, yeah, let's do it. And then it's day one in the gym, we're like, oh, I haven't been doing it in so long, like pushing yourself to do it, right? Like there's a big difference in building that habit again. And that's why we have to go slow. And my question that I had for Lukas was about baby steps. So I know that when we were talking about this whole mindset topic for tonight's amazing training that you have here, thank you so much for that. You were mentioning that sometimes somewhere you struggle is with your baby steps. Sometimes you take too small of baby steps. Do you think you could sum that up a bit for us?
Yeah, sure. So what Crystal means by baby steps is kind of not jumping into everything at one time, and overloading yourself with all these new things that you're trying to do and goals you're trying to hit. But to kind of pick one thing, let's say, and do that this week. Just one thing. Maybe you're going to hit your steps all week, and get good at doing that. Be positive about that. You succeeded in that. Now that you've succeeded in that, we're going to add something else in. And then on top of that, we're going to add something else. And we're going to slowly add things in. And that's why with your nutrition, guys, we're going to hit your calories first. Then we're going to hit your calories and your protein. And then we're, because we don't want to overload you guys with too much information all at once. We're going to focus on one thing, then the next, then the next, then the next. Same with your workouts. Your workouts are starting off pretty simple, pretty basic movements. Then they're going to, next week, they're going to be a little bit different, a little bit more advanced, a little bit more body weight stuff too. So that's great. And then even after that, it's going to advance even further. So baby steps, guys. You got to really, really focus on not overloading yourselves. And what Crystal means by me taking these baby steps a little bit too seriously is I tend to not jump into anything. And let's say for my steps, if I've got a new step goal, maybe I'm working and maybe I don't hit that step goal the first day. Maybe I'm like, I'm just working up to that. And then the next day, yeah, I'm still working up to it. And the next day, yeah, I'm still working up to it. And then by the end of the week, I haven't really worked up to it yet. So I kind of start to fall, even though I'm still making progress, I'm not making progress as fast as I should be, because the next milestone is going to start soon. I better be at, a certain level before I add another step, even if it's just a baby
Right.
step.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's good to take it slow, but not too slow. Too slow is going to leave you kind of like uninterested, right? Like I talked about earlier, we want to stay interested. We want to have fun with it. Going too slow with anything, and in it advancing in anything is just gonna be boring too. So,
Yes.
and then also when it comes to your weight loss, and let's say you want to let's say you were lowering your calories to a certain point, just as an example, because you want to start losing weight. If you do that too slowly, your body just kind of acclimates as you're going, and you just won't lose any weight, but your metabolism will still allow you to keep eating less and less and less and less. So sometimes a bigger jump is okay. Sometimes not taking the baby steps is all right.
But it's still also baby steps too, right? Because you're not going, okay, day one, I'm hitting 10,000 steps, and I usually only do 1,000, right? So it's still baby steps. We just have to find the right amount of baby steps, right? And that's all different for each of us. So that's why I wanted to bring up that part. But I mean, this has seriously just been gold, Lukas. I mean, I think that we'll probably end it here. We've been here for an hour. So make sure everyone bring your question for next week's Live with Coach Lukas. We're going to talk about when you have no motivation, okay? So can we get some thank yous in the chats maybe for Lukas taking the time out for all of us here tonight? So thank you, Lukas, on behalf of everyone. I'm sure we'll get some thank yous there though, but thank you. This is honestly on fire. I could see your passion coming out, which was great. And mindset has been a personal struggle for you. And we all appreciate you bringing the, quite honestly, I call it brutal, honestly, to the table for us all. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to do it. I'll be back next week too, just like Crystal said.
Yeah.
To talk about some more stuff like this. And any of you can reach out to me too. You don't always have to reach out to Crystal. You can always reach out to me if there's something you want to talk about, or maybe you need help with a certain exercise. I can always help with that stuff too. That's kind of what my specialty is. So I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach. I'm also a corrective exercise coach too. So if you guys ever have any problems with a certain movement and it's giving you pains, or maybe your knee hurts a certain way, and you can always reach out to me. I'll probably ask you a few questions like what makes it hurt? What direction are you moving when it hurts? And I'll give you some pointers, maybe even record a demonstration video for you. I can always do that stuff.
Love it. See, just keep throwing some free stuff at you, folks. Love it. Keep showing up, more free stuff. And speaking of free stuff, I know we're in the middle of our mini challenge right now where everyone is having to eat at least one fruit today and one tomorrow. I've seen some of the photos, some of those cherries, and I saw a really funny one. I loved it with a strawberry. Thank you for posting these. I'll check in on about the mini challenge there on Thursday tomorrow to see how everyone's doing. But thank you again, Lukas. And we will see all of you again with Lukas next Wednesday. And make sure you also book in for Tuesday's live training. I'm going to be live again with you here. And then Wednesday with Coach Lukas and live Q&A. And thanks again.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to get going. I think there's a bear in the yard behind me. So see you later.
Probably actually accurate too, folks. That wasn't a fake background behind them. But have a good night, everyone. We'll talk real soon. I'm gonna slam some type of food. Don't really remember exactly what I'm having right now, and head to bed. Thank you all for being here, and we'll talk tomorrow real soon. Bye, everyone.